Okay, let's quickly zoom into the other pictures. This is interesting because on this one we see a V shape happening. So any pattern that's unusual that I've found in these images is a good material to work on. So what we have here, you see that V shape coming up and the round object right there. I can't go further. Yes, I can. If I go further, I usually, with this type of contrast, I'll lose the image. Look at that. Something's happening to create those shapes. Here we go again. What's happening, I do not know. Why it's happening, I do not know either. See what I mean? It's like it can't be an accidental thing in that cloud there. Let's go to the next one quickly. Same one, same one, same one. Sort of contrast. It was a strange shape, so obviously I zoomed in on it. This is unusual. We've got two darker objects going up. Now, it's easy to think they could be patterns in the cloud and all these sort of things, obviously, and I'm just looking at patterns in the cloud, but these looked a bit too far out. You see what I mean, that shape? It was just a little bit too much out of the ordinary for that shape. And that's where I've tried to contrast it. We got the same thing happening here as well. Not much, just curly cloud shapes, but they're the things Laszlo told me to sort of watch out because that's where you usually have the orb activity happening. And when I looked closer into those, that's where I found those peculiar objects and darker shapes that you wouldn't normally associate with a nice bright white cloud. Look at that. There's like two processes coming out of that shape. I'll try to speed it up, guys. Sorry it's taking long. I know. It's just painstaking when you have to look at every image that you haven't lost something, and then you can catch something fantastic and think, wow, it's worth the effort. So I'm trying to stop all this. It's just fantastic to see these sort of things and analyze them, but it just can sometimes take up all your thinking time as to what you're actually looking at, because you haven't seen these images anywhere in the world. This is interesting because I'm seeing too many curves coming up from there to be normal, and I'm on the right path on this one. Just look at that. Look at all those twisting things coming up out of that. Wow. Wow, one more again. I knew there was something on the edge of that one, so that's why I probably zoomed in on that spot right there. It's very hard. This thing's pressing on your eye. You're trying to process as much as you can by zooming in and out. With the Sony cam, the object's right there. There's an entrance right there, and you're just trying to get as much detail as you can, but not waste your time up on there in those clouds. And I don't want to do it again. You can spend hours analyzing this. There we go. Fantastic, isn't it? Now again, I'm just using very cheap. Some people have told me, we want more professional stills. Can't you do better? Can't you do this? Well, I'm virtually telling them, you try to do it. Look at all those beautiful shapes there. I'm just using the tools I've got. I'm using very cheap tools. I find they work the best and the quickest. I haven't access to a professional studio. That shape is very strange. And I haven't got the finances. This is a hobby and it's just becoming fascinating. This shows intense energy activity in that one there. That's like that angel shape that I saw with the two arms floating up. When I zoomed in on it and took more stills, it's like, well, something is actually in that entity. It isn't just a part of the cloud floating up. Now, this had too many right angles on the left, and I'll see if my hunch is correct. I'm literally analyzing it as I'm talking to you now. Yeah, there's too many left rounded objects, one there. I don't know what that is. That's a perfect object in there. Should I take a picture of it and zoom it? I haven't got the time anymore. I'm just trying to stop all this. Um, okay, the cloud behind it isn't that bright. The one in front is. Let's go back to that image. I wish I could somehow set these programs. So there's too many rounded shapes there that I could do the same sort of adjustment every picture. But obviously I can't do that. Should I just skip the ones I'm not interested in? If I don't, I could miss something. So that's why there's only about probably 20 left. So just hold on. That's a good image there. Here's that square rectangle cut out of the cloud. This is unusual for that to happen in a cloud. It's as though some object came, took a square chunk out of it, then this tube pattern is happening in that cloud. That's a very unusual thing to do. Can you see what I'm trying to show you? It's a rectangle, very thin slice was taken out. And then we have this object. That's the same object, so I won't analyze it too many times. This was very unusual. Look at that shape. It's an opening, it's like a cup shape orb. And I've actually, that's the orb that I filmed in Brazil. It had the rods coming out, it had that same cup shape. So I've actually seen that before. Appearing. It was a beautiful, that fantastic red one in Brazil. Same sort of shape. There's that rectangle again, and that tube shape on the top. See it right there? It's been cut out the side, and this object is like a tube coming out of it. It's just so unusual they would be cut out like that. And that, so obviously that's why I've zoomed in on that one. See what I mean? That was unusual. That's unusual. There's like a round entrance to it. And these are the ones that I've seen in Laszlo's film where little orbs live and they shoot out of. There's that shape. I'll try to do the other picture that hasn't been touched. I could spend hours on this, but I just want to shoot through the most important stuff and not waste your time. Come on. Okay, there's that cloud shape, that really weird one. Seems to have the two arms that are identical. I'm going to start skipping a lot now because I'm just doing too many processes to highlight all this and I'm starting to lose some time. Okay, here's our friend. Finally, I got him. This is that cloud creature. See, I've got the two hooks, the rounded head, the antenna, the body, and here it is with the eggs on the side. It look like eggs. I don't think it's the tail. Can you see what I'm looking at? Someone has asked me, can't you get better images? Well, you try to do it. This is infrared objects. Look, you see the eggs, you see the very sharp hook or claw, you see that big rounded head, the antenna on top, and they're the ones you'll see quite a few of now. You see it there as well. The eggs, I think of the eggs, the back of it, the big rounded front head and the claws. Some are better pictures like this one here. That's been processed before. Look at those beautiful round eggs. Look at those big thick arms on the side, the big rounded face or eye or whatever, and the sharp hooks, and then that antenna from the top. Again, have a good look at that. Some people can't see it, and it isn't easy for me to process. I tried the best I could with the limited views. Look at that sharp claw. Look at that round entrance there. That is one other great image. Look at that. I was in shock. Look at the eggs, the back, the front hooks, and the antenna. Another image, and in one it becomes reddish. That part had a red glow to it. That is not an accidental object in those clouds. Look at those eggs. Just look at the image on that. Look at that image come to life as I process it. I could adjust the detail on it, but I've got too many little pixels there I can see from the computer. Look at that image. Look at it. When I saw that, I just thought, no, that's it. That's that object. There is an object there, and I'm looking at it. I was in shock. There is again. Now, the wrong angle, I lose and I get glare. So this is very, very, very hard. Look at that. Rounded objects, the back, the front. It's a huge rounded, like, head or eye process there in those two claws. There we are again. If you keep looking at it, you'll see what I see. That's better. That's completely better. Now, if I can get that brightness up to bring up part of that structure, yes. Little antenna going up, the big entrance, the two hooks, and the body of it. It is worth the effort, but then when you enlarge it, you lose it again. Can you see what I'm looking at? Can you see those arms very dark? The antenna process there. Again. Oops, we're starting to get color in there. When he's touched it, it comes to life. I think in some of these infrareds, I see energy coming out from that. He's entered part of that cloud. It's rounded, and we see that round shape before. And as he's touched it, I think we're getting a surge of energy into that. It sounds ridiculous, but everything so far sounds ridiculous. From my impression, I think that's what's happening in here. Look at that. The energy has gone up into him, into the object. The actual flow of energy has come around from the rim. He's touched it. He's trying to access it to go in or whatever, and it's coming out. Look at that. Look at that. That's infrared. So obviously that energy you see is energy caught by infrared. Look at that. There's his claws, the rounded front, the antenna, the big back, and the rounded beads down the end. He's accessed that entrance, and we're seeing a burst of energy near that. Now this is where I zoomed in on him with the claws and the rounded front. See the claws there and the antenna. I can't do that any are better. You have to look this in a dark room. Once you see it in a dark room, these things, now the whole color, the whole energy has now gone down that cylinder entrance. He's put his claws in there because I can't see the edge of his claws anymore. He has actually opened up something. It's similar to a bee that goes into their hive. You see how now that energy is completely gone right around the rim there. And it's just, now it's all lit up. Everything is lit up all of a sudden. Wow, I can't believe I'm just seeing these things. It's just too hard to believe. Here we go again. Here we go again. The energy field has come right down there. He's touched something, he's accessed it, he's opened it. He's trying to go in, I think, but that's as far as the film goes. Okay, that's enough of him. And these are some other objects. Now, I'll quickly go through all the others. Some were, that's him again. Some were spectacular. I actually saw what looked like a hat shape in there. It was symmetrical. It was a dark object in there. It was like, wow. There he is again. I think you've seen him enough. I don't want to waste too much time on him, but he deserves special attention because that was the first time I've actually thought I captured a living life form. And this is where the edge of that rounded depression starts to have energy. I'll have to go right to the extreme of contrast on this one. I'll play around with the detail. This could be worth the effort because I don't see that many big pixels on here. Okay, enough of him. I don't want to see him again. He's too good. I've analysed him about 10 times now. But I'm just thinking every picture could bring up one other special detail about him. So I'm really spending a lot of time on our new friend here. They're all the pictures I took of him, so quite a few I haven't even processed. And this one we see the shape of that little antenna on top, isn't like a little creature. And to actually be laying eggs, living in a cloud as we're doing our work and living on the street, it's just beyond comprehension for me that I've captured and analysed this. Sorry for all the time. It just pays to show how I'm finding these things, and literally as I'm opening up the editing and doing all these things are just, now all that energy has gone completely down that cloud entrance. Look at that. That is bright as anything. He's touched something, either it's some sort of energy field around it, he's opened it up. So my question is, have I caught that fictitious cloud creature that other people have filmed, and they call them cloud bugs, and people are saying, well, you know, you're on, that's crazy. Why haven't we seen this photographed or filmed by anyone? Well, it's too hard. It's infrared. How a Doug actually caught it, I don't know. That was clear color. And they moved very quickly. Oh, that's our friend again. This is going to be a good episode because I've just, I think that's the video where I zoom in on him, and I've just applied, yeah, I'm trying to just bring the camera in and out to get that special glare. You see the back is a bit shiny, the top looks like antennas. You see how I'm trying to zoom in, and as I change the lighting on that one, see how I, just by changing the angle of the camera, there, I've brought up like a glow, greenish grey glow. Look at his claws. Look at that object growing there. You see what I'm trying to do? By coming in close to that camera at a different angle, I've picked up something in the pixels. That's a dark purple on the back, and it's a lighter grey colour. It has worked by actually just altering the angle that I filmed this from the computer screen. It picks up some colour. It's a very hard job. It's a very painstaking job, and that's where I've frozen one of the images. And if I fiddle around with that, it might enhance his color, and it has. Look at that. You can see the brightness of his back. You see the big one eye. If anyone with any more professional, there he is. That is a good image. That's the image I'm trying to capture. It's a one in a million chance of capturing this object, and I'm really going out as far as I can on him. And I'll even press the clarity button on him. Again, just look at those claws, the big entrance, the antenna. He's just accessed the opening there. It's just starting to go bright white. Again, we've got him. I didn't stop taking pictures of him because I just hoped that one extra picture would really bring something else up there. Here he is again. Again, I don't want to look at him again. Again. See how it's gone a white color? There's an energy field coming through it. Come on. Now, on here, I've caught something else. I've just seen this now. Ah, that's him. That's him, maybe just as he moves forward. I've seen a little bit more of him. See that big white, dark area in the front and a darker back. Yeah, we've just seen a bit more of him there. The whole area has lit up. We're seeing more of him in this picture. He's moved forward a fraction, so it's probably that one extra still shot where I've caught him move forward just that fraction. He's just moved forward. Look at that. How many of these things have I pictured him? It's just, I don't want to stop looking at him and trying to picture maybe something extra. Again, okay, that's enough. Here he is, one snapshot just of his claws and his head. I'm not picking up any more new things, so okay, we've jumped out of his topic straight away now. We've spent too much time on him. There's a dark object right there. Very hard to see what it is. We've got an interesting cross shape there, so I'm going to just do a bit more work on that one. Nothing to prove in that one. More patterns coming up. That's a high zoom of that cross shape. I didn't see anything in the first place. I'm losing my patience. I'm scared when that happens. I'm not going to analyze it as good. Actually, we did see those holes there. Look at that. Nothing to prove. Go. Quick, quick, quick. There's a dark object sitting right there in the gap, or it could be just a gap. Okay, I'm just going to go through as quick as I can. I thought I saw a dark object there. There it is, it's rounded. There's our friend again. I don't want to see him again. I've had enough of him. There he is again. The nice round entrance, the two claws. Another one. There's that star-shaped pattern. Now the interesting thing is right down the bottom of it, there's a darker object just sort of sitting there. It just sort of covertly sits in that spot. It just seems part of that cloud. There's too much energy coming from the center of it. Here's another one. Now this one I've focused in on in my previous ones. It's just something's there, but you can't process any clearer. That's as far as you go. You'll hit a brick wall. I think I'll hit a brick wall again. Something's there, alright, but see how it hooks up? It's got that round little shape on it. Something's there. There's a definite line there, but I'm going to have to jump it. It's too hard. This looks like it's got processes 1, 2, 3. So something could be there. It's very painstaking. I hope you got the patience to be still going through the video with me. That's like a star shape. One process, another one, and two up there. So there is a definite shape in there. What it is, I don't know. What does it represent, I don't know. And I don't want to go through any more of them if they're the same. Something's happening here, so I'm going to do a bit of work on this one. That's a video of him. I've seen him before. I've seen enough of him. That's one more enhancement of him. That's a good one. It's very bright in that image. The whole area has lit up. This is a good one. I've got something very strange happening here. I've got what looks like an opening. I've auto-enhanced this in my other pictures. And something has just come out of that beautiful ring. Look at that. It's a lovely image, but I don't know what it is. We've got some nice shapes here, crosses and stuff like that, but nothing to say, look what we found. It's the same thing. So I haven't even gone through these. I'm scared if I don't do it, I might miss something golden. This intense light coming out of that one. Something's happening there, but I can't do anything further with it. This is our friend again coming from that sort of entrance. Now we've got a light activity happening. Look at that. It's as though he's got two arms or something. One rounded, and he's coming right out of that. What could he be? What is he? Look at that. They're like spirits. They look, I shouldn't say this, like I was told they're interdimensional spirits. Now the whole area is bright. You see what I mean? Something has been touched. It's either opening or entering. And you've got that really bright ring around there of that object entering the cloud. I can't do it any quicker. I literally have to touch it and move these things. I can't have any special program that does it for me. It's very painstaking. This is some sort of a lovely twisted shape, so I'll do a bit more work on it. Here's that triangular rectangle bit. I think I've shown you before. See what I mean? It's cut out of the cloud and this thing comes through it. It's unusual because it comes across from the other side of the cloud, just goes over it. So there's too many sharp angles on that and shapes. Something's happening here because there's too many dark objects there. And it's like all these shapes jumping out from that area. I can't do more with it. It's just something's there. I can see it. I can see the bumps there. I can see that right angle. Something is there. It's a lurking in there. That's all I can tell about. Now, here's an interesting point. I've seen these chain effects on the volcano 2014 Indonesia. You'll see these rings. 1, 2. So that's a common pattern I've seen. This is unusual. It's a square structure, and there is an object that seems to be there. This was right there. It's a brown object that sits on the white cloud. And a few of the images I've captured something sharp come out of it like an antenna. See what I mean? It's just, what's it doing sitting there? What is it? Look at that entity. Look at it. You have to have a really good eye, and you have to really enhance till it can't be anything else. There are those rings I told you about. There's that white cloud, little bit of a object there. Look at that. It's like a square. Look at that. Look at that. I've caught something. See the square and that object inside it? But I can't process it any further. I'm stuck with it. See how that shadow is of that object that seems to be in there? See what I'm talking about? There's an object in there. There it is. There's the outline of it. There, and I can't do anything else with it. It's gone. It's not strong enough. There's that interesting object on the cloud. It's squarish. It's got like a hole in it. There it is. That's a fantastic. And I've seen this when I analysed a 9/11 UFO. It's like a cube. Now I'm going to try to just take one snapshot of this. I've enlarged it as best as I can. Can you see how that object? It could be a hole in the cloud. That's one other way of looking at it. Ah, damn it. Never thought of that. Could be just a hole in the cloud. It doesn't look like a hole, but okay, here we've got like 3 or 4 little tubes or claws or something in the background. Oh my god, look at that. Can you see that rounded object there, the antenna type of process? And I've caught an entity here. This is a real entity. You see the rounded bits, you see the antenna. I'm just going to close the blinds. This object is so good that if you look at this in a dark room, you're actually noticing some objects there. Now, I don't know how to bring this up more. I'll try the color for the first time. There are some objects in there. There's a definite objects, and I can't do anything with the tint or anything. There are some definite serious objects in there. See those rounded things like grapes, two sharp things coming over? Now I'm going to try something, could be a waste of time. I'm going to try to sharpen it, but I lost the image a lot by taking it from the computer screen. I know that. It's the only way I can do it. Now if I zoom in on that now and try to take a snapshot, there is something there. I think I've caught an entity right there. It sounds ridiculous, but something is there, all right. I don't know how to. I'm just excited to actually see this in real life, so I'm just trying to work out how to show you guys what I'm looking at. Do you see those round things there? Do you see that antenna-like process up on there? What other button can I do this with to just bring up that extra? See that rounded thing? See the thing going down there? If I go too far, I lost it. Can you see that object in there, the two rounded bits? Can you see all the strange patterns in there? We're looking at something, but that's as good as my camera can go get it. Something is there. And you see that star shape there. Look at that. It's like a star shape. We've caught something. I honestly do not know what it is. And I'll try to take one more snapshot without autofocus. Just as it focuses, sometimes a camera can play tricks and capture the clearer image even before you use autofocus on it. And this is a very tricky thing to do. You have to I don't know what it is. There is something in there. There is something definitely there, looks of alien origin. It's right in the center of the screen. It looks like two rounded circles around it, and there's like some antenna type process. I don't think it's an accidental object. My gut feeling is you wouldn't have the symmetry there, and you wouldn't have those sort of patterns occurring in that object right there. That's all I can do. So something is happening in there, and if you really have a dark room, you'll see those beautiful intricate lines, that two rounded things stumped down the middle and the two horns. Wow. There it is again. You see how I'm enlarging it? Something is there. Wow. I can't process it anymore. Here's that object that could be a hole in the cloud, but my gut feeling says it isn't. You see what I mean? It's a darker object there. Look at it. Look how I've just brought that up. And those fine lines coming out of it. I was correct. It isn't a hole in the cloud. I was correct. There is an object in there, and there it is. And you'll see those white, see how the lines come around it? And it's some sort of entity, it's some sort of object. And it's very hard to see because you'll have the computer glare. And I haven't been able to take a clear picture because of this glare. Now, if I go further, there it is. and I reduce the brightness a fraction, something is there, correct? There is some dark object there. I cannot go any further and analyze it. I'll try to take a snapshot of it and just process it on the phone camera. It's tricky. It is tricky. Something is there. What is it? Look at it. What is it? It isn't accidental. The things here are not accidental things in the cloud. There he is again. I've brought him up again. Look at him. Look at his form. Okay, I've got a good image of it. I can process it. There's some definite lines happening around him as well. This could be a clearer image. All he needs is that one shot. And now I noticed something sticking up there like a little antenna type process. He's there, all right. He's real. What he is, I don't know. He's actually on top of the cloud rather than the hole. Here's that object that's coming up as some sort of rounded object up there. I'm going to go through him. I've got time for him. There was that square object coming out of the cloud. Triangular shape. Here's our friend again. That's a clear image of him. See that thing on top? I don't know what it is. I don't know what he is. He's there, all right. I don't know what he is. I don't know how to catch him any clearer, but there he is. I'm going to start flicking through these because when they're just obvious clouds, I'm losing. We're going 45 minutes now. There's activity happening, but I can't process it. I like this image because it shows something white and it shows something dark inside it. Or it could be just accidental shadows. Here's the hat. Once I saw this hat image, it just killed me. Look at it. Can you see that come up there? Can you see that image there? Can you see that? There's a definite object there. Look at that. I've never seen anything so spooky looking and sinister. Just I'll try to get a clear picture of that hat. It's not easy. See what I mean? There's something just sitting there in that cloud. It's got a bright white edge. It's as though it's made contact with that. And it's got that hat type image there. I can't get over that. It's just every time I processed it, it was staring right back at me. It's dark. It seems to be sitting on that very bright white cloud. and it just jumps out at you when you start to auto enhance it. It just literally jumps at you. That's one other side view of that picture. So I'll actually see if I can bring something up there I didn't do before. There it is. There's that sharp hat-looking shape. And I was told these are interdimensional beings up there on those clouds. All I see is these weird shapes. And the only a living thing I found was that like cloud bug. Okay, there's that object there I saw. The rings, chains. There's a square object. There's a little antenna there, yeah. See that hat image? This is a pretty good one. And that's it, I think. Okay, we'll do around this, go for this picture as well. So the last one I'm going to do. Okay, I've had enough.